everyone. All right, well, Green Day recap here. Finished the day up 10,000, but I gave back half my gains. I was up 23, and then boom, just like that, in 2 trades, gave back half. So that was a little disappointing. Not the way I really wanted to start the week. It's always better to feel like you're finishing on your highs than giving back half your gains or more. But this is the spot where it's also really easy to kind of go back in and try to recoup what I just lost. And the next thing I know, I'm up only 5 grand. I'm up only 2 grand, or I'm red. It's not worth it. So taking the 10 grand off the table, it's green. It's more than I had a couple hours ago. As always, this is a reminder that day trading is risky. Easy come, easy go. Please trade in a simulator before you put real money on the line. And as always, manage your risk. So we're going to get into the recap today. We'll talk about ACY. We'll talk about XELB. We'll talk about BPTH. We'll also talk a little bit about the S&P 500, which is ripping, and this crazy market that we're in. So enjoy the recap. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you live tomorrow for the morning show. All right, everyone, so I'm gonna do my recap here for today, finishing up 10,000, gave back half, and so I'm throwing in the towel. Kind of a bummer. I just lost 7,000 on ACY. Trying to do a dip right through here and adding down here, got stopped out as it broke down, so gave back 7,000 on that and lost 5,000 on XCLB, buying right here for the breakthrough 50, stopping out as it came back down here, and then only to watch it go without me. So no doubt, this is where emotions start to kick in, frustration. And as soon as I start to feel frustration and I'm feeling annoyed and I'm like, man, are you for real? That's the time to walk away. Because when you start trading from that place of frustration and just sort of, anger or whatever it is, that's when you can start saying, you know what? I'm going back in ACY. And I'm going back in with 40,000 shares this time. I'm going to make back what I lost and then some. And then next thing you know, you go from being up 10,000 to red. And it's like, you look back and you think, was there a moment where I coulda, shoulda stopped sooner and just said, hey, enough's enough. I'm green. $10,000 is a great day. So you gave back half your gains. Who cares? You're still up 10 grand. That's $10,000 more than I had 2 hours ago. Be grateful for that. Don't be focusing on what you lost. Be focusing on what you have. But it's so easy to get caught into that cycle of trying to chase what you lost. And, on something like this, ACY, the high volume on that red candle is a big red flag. On XELB, that one, I took too much size here, and then as it dropped down there, where did I stop out? I stopped out at 317 and 315, so 10 cents off the lows. But it had just bounced here to 29 and then came back down, and I was like, I don't know, I've been too much size. Let me just cut that loss so I can focus on ACY. And then that's when my ACY trade just kind of got worse. So yeah, it's kind of a bummer of a day, just in the sense that we had some bursts of momentum, but it didn't hold. CEMI, tried to do a trade on that, bounce off the VWAP, went lower. MDLY, tried to trade that on sympathy to ACY, red there. DMYD, this one, some small gains on a micro pullback in that squeeze. And BPTH pre-market, on the break back through the VWAP right here, jumped in at 914, I think, average or something like that. Rode that momentum up, got a trade at the open, but then, this is faded off the VWAP. That's almost a perfect fade off VWAP setup. So unfortunately, the small caps have been just a little choppy today. Meanwhile, the S&P 500 is ripping, and I'm like, are we going to see a halt up on the S&P 500? This thing is just squeezing, but that's great for long-term, investors in the market, but also at the same time, you have to kind of look at this as like, all right, well, where's upside resistance? I don't know, but it's not, what's going on in the overall market is a factor, but I think the choppiness in the small caps is not directly related to that. I think the choppiness in the small caps is in part because this is how many stocks were kind of active today. There was a lot of stocks active, and that makes it hard to know which one's obvious. And XLEB, it's just kind of been, I don't know, a little funny, a little choppy. I'm just honestly surprised. I mean, it doesn't look choppy, but I'm just honestly surprised it's kind of moved up this much. The level 2 on it, you can see here, it's pretty stacked. So that stack and the way it kind of jumps down and pops back up, 83 on the ask right now, at 87, then back to 83, that's where it feels choppy, like it pops and drops, pops and drops. And that's usually difficult price action to trade through. ACY comparatively felt a little easier, but really with that big red candle, I don't know, it needs to get back up. Probably, I don't know. It's good that it's holding VWAP here. If it got back over 13.95, that would be more bullish. So back over 14, and then you'd look for 14.29, 14.50, and then 15, and then over 15. Then you start to feel like you're ascending right back to, 16. But so there you go. So it broke 14, and then it goes right up to 14.29. Basically, exactly what I just said there. Now you'd want to see, well, does it do a micro pullback, and then does it break through 14.29 and go up to 14.80? So there's 14.40, and already it feels like, yes, you do have higher volume on this 1 minute candle, but it already feels like it's getting a little choppy. And there's XELB hitting 4. But then look at that rejection there. Hit a high of 4, and now it's down, hit a low there of 376. So that false breakout is not fun. So I don't know, it's whatever. It's a green start to the week. That's great. Green is good. I'll live to trade another day. I did give back half my gains, but today is an opportunity for me to exercise some degree of discipline and, try to, be careful about not jumping, so I get back in, let's say ACY, 13.95 was the spot I was kind of watching. Well, now it's at 14.95, right? It's up $1 a share. So I can't really get in here. Halt level's 15.32. Next thing you know, you're chasing it, and then you're going to get stopped out on the next pullback. So sometimes you just sort of fall off your center, you get off balance. It can be really hard to kind of get back to center on that day. It's not impossible, it can be done, but it's difficult. So rather than make that struggle, I'm just gonna say, hey, this is where I'm at. Live to trade another day. Wasn't the best day of my career, but that's okay. That's only gonna happen once in your career, I suppose. So it's a green day, and green is always good, and I wanna be grateful for the green. Starting the week in the green, that's a good start. I'll come in tomorrow. Maybe it'll be a little cleaner, a little easier, and maybe I'll finish up 20,000 tomorrow. So anyways, that's it for me. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I will see you first thing tomorrow morning. I hope you really enjoyed that video, and make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Our goal is to hit 1 million subscribers this year, but we won't get there without your help. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button.